The following video is one in a series on spiritual resilience training, a non-religious view of personal values and their dynamics with others. The contents reflect a variety of principles and practices of systems theory and relational counseling for team building and family resilience. Although the series is intended to support Army Corps values, each video also encourages the viewer to reflect on their current prominent values in specific situations and to consider what values may be more appropriate to means and results that are honorable and helpful with others. Chaplain Dillard initiates creating and posting these videos. Their contents and YouTube's linked videos do not necessarily reflect specific beliefs, practices, requirements, or endorsements of the Department of Defense, its subordinate organizations, or other groups with which Chaplain Dillard is affiliated.
Welcome back. If you remember last week, we looked at how it could go wrong with reacting to a mixture of emotions within us. This week, we're going to look at how it can go right. It's not the way or the best way or my way. It's just a way it can go right when we intentionally process through all of our emotions and make intentional decisions with that relationship in the moment to think and drink H2O, what is honorable and helpful to our organization individually, because we are an organization of values in the context of relationships that result in beliefs about that relationship and our value, what we're valuing, our emotions about that, and our actions. Those five elements are always systemically working within us organizationally. We're also in an organization with other people, families, work teams, social networks, etc., etc. So if we're not being intentional to think and drink H2O, we're going to react and be on autopilot, and our emotions can rule us, and that's rarely helpful. So let's remind ourselves the same situation, that someone important to us wants to spend even more time with us, and out of the possible 6 C3 IRAs that for whatever reason, let's say that I have a great value of control in my life. I want more control. I still have mixed emotions stemming from that one issue, more time with them. I still have a heart level value of control, and I still believe that this will be time-consuming, unrealistic, disappointing, but also possibly refreshing. So there's the mixture of beliefs that manifest themselves as feeling bad, mad, sad, and glad, which can be very confusing and overwhelming to me unless I make some decisions of how to work through that. Here's how it can go differently. Remember, our beliefs are always filtered inwardly through our historic experience of emotion. And I'm the same person who wasn't allowed to express being angry or sad at home. That's a reference to the previous video. My friend has historically rewarded my expressions of being glad to see them, and I like that. Neither of us has ever expressed feeling bad, meaning fearful or guilty in our relationship, so that's still a struggle. And I understand that suppressing frustration and anger is not a long-term solution. So I have told another trusted friend that I'm on edge about them calling today, and we talked about the pros and cons of me clamming up or blowing up. Now, if you remember the previous video, all that stuff that I just alluded to right there was just internal to me, and I was subconsciously aware of it, maybe some of it not, but it just stayed within me. What I'm doing differently now, and you can flip back and see those slides if you want to, is I'm beginning to process that outwardly with other people. I'm talking to a third person who I trust about how my response could be helpful or not helpful, honorable or not honorable. If I clam up, what will happen? If I blow up, what will happen? Where does this come from in me? And I'm bringing it from the subconscious to more of a conscious level, that I know that some of my potential reactions are not helpful. To suppress anger, for example, I need to talk it out. So the self-awareness is a first start. Connecting with other people I trust is a second start or step. Now let's see how the actual meeting with them could go. Here's a different perspective on myself. Previously, in the last video, I said I am detached. Now I'm seeing that I have been detached, but I'm making a decision to begin to attach as I am able, and here's how I might do it. Let's say my friend calls to schedule time this weekend. And I text them that I'm glad that they want to spend time together. I might not use the word, but to express it as a prep to our time together. And I ask my other trusted friend to talk with me about my realistic expectations. Again, I'm attaching with somebody else that I already have a deeper relationship with, somebody that I trust. I know that they value me and we respect each other, to help me begin to work through preparing for this meeting. It might just be a phone call. It might be some texting back and forth. It might be sitting down with somebody that lives in the area if this person's coming from out of town. But to begin to work on some of my anxiety, and some of that is about realistic expectations. I also tell my other opportunities that I could have met with that weekend that I have mixed feelings about not seeing them. So I'm going to make a choice to see my friend, which means I've got to make a choice not to see some other friends that I had potentially scheduled some things with. Again, reference to the previous video. And I'm not just ignoring them, I'm not neglecting them, I'm not going to be a no-show or cancel at the last minute. I'm talking through those emotions with them. I say, guys, I was really looking forward to spending time with you, and I hadn't seen this person in a long time. I've got mixed feelings about not spending time with you and spending time with them. I hope you'll forgive me and be patient with me. Again, I'm not keeping it all internal, but I'm processing the gamut of emotions with others. And there's a lot of benefit to that, because I begin to experience who is going to be committed to me, to what level, so I can make choices about how much time I want to invest with that person. Are they going to ditch me because I can't meet with them one weekend? I begin to experience that I have to make decisions for myself. I can't let my emotions or other people rule my time. And I experience success or failure or something in between, and I grow in that. I can't grow if I'm always avoiding choices. So there's a lot of practical benefits in talking through and processing our emotions with others. It kind of lets us know where we stand with other people. I can also, when we meet, tell them, look, I'm a little sad that I might not be good company. I've had a tough week, and I'm not at my best mentally or in energy or anything else. So if this is not a super great reunion, I hope you'll forgive me. That lets them know that I want them to have realistic expectations of our time together. And I'm not being dishonest. I'm not trying to avoid. I'm just being realistic and honest. And I'm basically expressing my sadness and my fear, and I'll see how they respond to that. So when we meet, we decide to meet in a public and busy place. And I make that choice for a realistic level of intimacy and control. Remember, I said that we begin to attach, or I begin to make decisions to attach as I'm able. Now, if I've been very detached most of my life, I'm not going to become a different person overnight. So I need to think, what can I do? What is realistic to have a decent time with this other person that I can manage based on my history? I might also listen more than I talk to hear their intent. This will help me discern the course of the conversation. An old mentor of mine used to say, when we are nervous, we produce data. Not meaningful conversations, but we talk about the weather, and we talk about sports, and we talk about all types of things that are very, very safe. But when we stop talking in order to hear the other person, then we can begin to connect on a deeper level, and I'll hear where they would like this conversation to go. And then I can make a choice. Do I want to go in that direction? Do I want to meet with them again? Can I be helpful? Do they want this to be a mutual relationship or just kind of one-sided? So my nerves might say, talk, because that's a way of controlling the time. But if I listen to hear their heart, then I'm going to be better able to discern if I'm able and willing to go in the direction that they're proposing for the conversation and whatever the relationship may become. I can also ask how I might be of some help. Again, I'm expressing realistic intimacy and realistic control. In those ways, in those words, how might I be of some help? Those qualifiers, I'm saying, I can't guarantee I'll be able to be of help. I can't guarantee I'll be able to be of all help. So how might I be of some help? Again, I'm attaching as I'm able. I'm not thinking I'm Superman or telling them that I'm Superman. Let's say we also talk about some of their challenges and mine for a sense of balanced relationship. I don't want to be used. I don't want to use the other person. I don't want to just check the block of time. But if we're going to have genuine relationships, it should be balanced for the H2O of both people, what is helpful and honorable to both people. And I ask if they'd like to join me with another friend next time for some other event that I already have scheduled. Now, do you remember those people I talked about having to cancel out with, the other opportunities, so that I could meet with this new friend? I could ask the new friend or the old friend to meet with those other folks and me next time, and that could accomplish a lot of things. I'm not trying to clone myself to be in two places at once in the future. That would deal with my anxiety of this renewing this old friendship as being time consuming. I could let them get to know who I am now in the context of these other existing relationships. I can honor these other existing relationships. There's a lot of benefits in that. It's not always an A or a B. Sometimes we can find a plan C to make it work, and this can greatly help with my being realistic to attach and with the old friend and the new in many different ways. And what have I been doing? I've been attaching as I was able in all four emotions to think and drink H2O, what is helpful and honorable to our organization. So I'm letting them know through explicit or implicit messages that I'm feeling some sadness about my maybe not being able to be there fully for them because I'm frazzled. I'm letting them know my nervousness that we might be unrealistic in our expectations, that we're going to pick up where we left off. This is going to be a great friendship. I'm letting them know I'm a little angry, at least talking to some people, that I have to choose. But I say that to my friends that know me better and that I know them better because I'm pretty sure they can take it and they'll understand. I'm talking to somebody entirely different to help me get ready for that meeting. I am working through my feelings of bad, mad, sad, and glad so that I can, when I experience them as mixed emotions, I don't have to ignore some, suppress some, that some just kind of fly out there, that some get neglected, that I'm able to be a whole person. Because we are whole people, and we should be able to live all of that in ways that are helpful and honorable to our organization. Hope that's made some sense to you. Hope you find that helpful. Next time we're going to look at layered emotions, and that is something entirely different, that we have some things on the surface. We talk about people wearing their emotions on their sleeve, or you can see things in their eyes and their face. But it's possible that underneath there is a very different emotion, something that's more at the heart level. And if we only deal with the surface, we don't really get down to the core, and it's hard to come up with good solutions if we haven't accurately and clearly defined the problem in us or the other person that is important to us. And I hope you'll join us then.
At the release date of this video, I am stationed with Research Development and Engineering Command, RDECOM, at Aberdeen Proving Ground, Maryland. Because the majority of our personnel are in this area, I spend most of my time here. I do, however, travel to our distant units based on command priorities and budget. I place these videos on YouTube for broad visibility to Army personnel and their families, but I hope the videos will be helpful to others too. If you are assigned to RDECOM and want to request specific topics by video, training on site or by VTC, or confidential counseling on site or by secure webcam, you can contact me at jeffrey.d.dillard.mil@mail.mil.